Hey, let's see. So, it's been a minute again. The last thing that you would have seen from us, Mason and I would have got back from Miles of Mayhem. Miles of Mayhem went great. Western Canada's basically premier drag and drive. I think it is the one in Western Canada. I don't think there's anything bigger. And it went great. We had a great time. The car did great. Still slow. I mean, it's not anything crazy fast right now. You've seen that we did a 5-lug swap on it. The rear end will handle way more horsepower than I'll throw at it. Especially with that configuration and a T5 5-speed transmission. Our new personal best, I think, was a 9.2. It's half a second faster than it was last year. I'm not complaining. We did the whole thing. We made the trip. We made it home. All good, mostly. That being said, you know, the engine that's in here is a little tired, I think, and it's not. I want more, is what I'm trying to tell you. And we have some options. We have some options for a little bit more horsepower. I have two engines here, as you can see. One is a big block Ford. One is a 351 Windsor. These are two options, and there's one more option. Basically, we're going to go over each of these engines in the third and kind of figure out what direction I'm going to go in. Basically, we're going to throw an engine together to put in my 1979 Ford Fairmont to make a little bit more horsepower, to be a little bit faster. And next year we're going to run the stick shift class, which has its own limitations as well. And so we're going to get into that. Any more updates? Yes. My 1994 7.3 Power Stroke that has been on the channel, I sold that. The family does no longer fit in it. So we will be looking for a crew cab, likely a 7.3, for sure a Ford, for sure a diesel, for sure a stick, for sure a crew cab, for sure a 4-wheel drive. So I'm having a hard time finding that. But yeah, I think let's get into some engines, shall we? So I pretty much already know the direction I'm going in. But I let you guys kind of decide what direction you think I should go in. Maybe by the end of the video you'll agree with me, maybe you won't, and that's okay. This is a 5.8 liter 351 Windsor out of the, I think it was an 87 Crown Vic. You can see that on the channel. We went and bought it in Red Deer, which is about a 2-hour drive from here, and drove it back. When we got there, it was leaking oil profusely out of. On the other side there is the oil pressure sending unit. It was not tight. It was literally raining oil down on the street, but I bought it anyway. We tightened it, didn't leak any oil on the way home. It is a higher mileage engine. If you don't know, the Windsor family, basically, the big three were 289, 302, and 351. They all kind of share the same characteristics. There was also a 255, but we don't talk about those. Basically, this is a 9.5-inch deck small block Ford, and what that means is, well, what is deck height? Deck height is the measurement from the center of where your crankshaft would be to the top of the deck, your deck height. So if you were to, the crank's out, but it would be 9.5 inches from the center of that crank to the deck top. This is a higher mileage engine. Each cylinder has a fairly good ridge. You can feel it with your nail. I can get you closer to show you that. Basically what happens, your piston travels up and down each cylinder bazillions of times, and the rings, the highest one that it'll go, or the highest ring, wears a groove into your cylinder. As it wears in, eventually you get a ring ridge. And this one has quite a bit. It was a higher mileage engine. We knew that. All good. This engine is basically going to have to go to a machine shop. It's going to have to get cylinder work done. My plan with this one is to go 408 stroker, and it's a really simple option. This will bolt up to the T5 if I wanted it to. Pretty much bolt into the car. We need a different oil pan probably. Of course, the stroker kit, now with tariffs, that's kind of crazy. It's gone a little loopy, so that's going to cost a bit more money than normal. We don't have to do that, but either way, it should go to a machine shop to get worked on. This is, like I said, a later 80s block. Maybe less desirable of the Windsor block, starting in 90, I want to say in 94. They had a roller block for all their trucks. This is not that. Not a huge deal. You can get standalone roller lifters, which we're probably going to do on the engine of choice. If it's a drag and drive engine, a solid flat tappet cam will probably wear itself out at hours of sustained RPM on the highway. So hydraulic rollers kind of gonna be the thing to go here. And honestly, hydraulic rollers have come a long way, so you can get tons and tons of parts, aftermarket parts, for all the big 3 V8s. I know that, Chev, Dodge, and Ford. So this is an option. I don't think it's the option I'm gonna go right now, being that it is now October, and being that Miles of Mayhem is in July. Just, you know, time, funds, we could probably do it. It's probably going to cost, once we're all said and done, probably, if we did it as cheap as we could, didn't go crazy, or NA, I'm thinking probably at least $7,000 Canadian to have this engine where we want it to be. And that's probably a 500 horse engine, I would guess. So it's doable, but it needs work. Maybe more work than what I want to do right now. The next option we have is the big boy. This is a big block Ford, or 385 series Ford. There's people out there that'll say, Ford didn't have a big block, that's a Chevy term. Okay, you win. I'm gonna call it a big block Ford because that's what most people call them. It's big. It's a big block. It's a big block Ford. Let's just get over it. So it is a 385 series Ford. 385 series, 385 refers to the 3.85 inch stroke the 460 had when it came out. There was 3, I believe, engines in the 385 series engines. The 370, 429, and the 460. 429, I believe, shared the same bore as the 460, but just de-stroked. The 370 was de-stroked and had a smaller bore. You'd see a 370 in the big trucks, your grade trucks, gravel trucks, F600s, F700s, etc. The 429 you'd see in your passenger cars, your Mustangs, your LTDs, your Galaxies, whatever. You also have the 429 in some big trucks too. The 460 you'd have in Lincolns, you'd have in trucks. I don't think it was in trucks until I want to say 73. I'd have to check that for sure. But the 460 came out in like the 70, 69 Lincoln Continentals, and they had 365 horsepower and I think 410 foot-pound of torque. Monster engines. Like any big block Chev or Dodge or Ford, you can make serious horsepower out of this engine quite easily. This engine came out of my dad's, I want to say it was a 92, might be newer than that, might be a 97, anywhere from 92 to 97 one-ton Ford. So it wasn't a powerhouse, and it was wore out. This thing has miles. Honestly, the ridges aren't bad. Well, but they're there. They're there for sure. This is an engine that I plan on putting in my 1967 Mercury M100 pickup truck. It's a bump side truck, Mercury branded instead of Ford. And we'll probably punch this thing out too. We'll just make a big old nasty big block Ford. You can put a big block Ford in a Fox body frame platform. It's been done many times. Drag racers, guys wanting just a serious engine, this will fit in a Fox body platform. A big block Ford will pretty much bolt, engine mount wise, anywhere a small block Ford will. And I mean, look at the difference. It's big and it's heavy. And we could do that. One of the problems that I'm going to have, regardless of whichever engine I choose, is I'm going manual transmission. It has a world-class T5 that is good for 300 foot-pounds of torque. I think that a big block could probably make that at idle. So, I mean, how many launches am I going to do with a T5 with a big block before it explodes? 1.5. 2-3 shift would just probably blow the thing up. So, do I risk keeping a T5? Well, I don't know yet. Probably not. So that's going to be in the budget too. We got to rebuild an engine, make more power. We're also going to have to look at the T5, which is now the weakest link in that whole car. The rear end is built just crazy. So something to think about. There is a third option though in our engines here, and I think it is the one I'm going with. I'm probably going to rip the 460 off of the engine stand, put our third option on, and tell you why I'm probably going to go with it. Maybe you think that's crazy. Maybe you say, well, you got the Windsor. You got the small block that's in there, 302, 5 liter, you know, roller. Why don't you get some aluminum heads for that? Why don't you just do that up? Maybe that's a fourth option. Now we got 4 options, and you're not wrong. But I still think I can make more power cheaper and easier with the third option. But we'll see. We'll see what you think, because you must have an opinion. You're here. Okay, here's our third option, and to be honest, probably the option I'm going with. This is my 4-barrel 351 Cleveland. Now, the Cleveland is kind of a, I guess a bit of a mysterious engine, maybe a lesser known one. They are a powerhouse. They were a powerhouse. They later would become the 351 and 400. The 351M and 400 were not powerhouses and nowhere near as good. This is a 1970 block. I can show you the casting numbers. 1970 block in the Galaxy family, which was a Ford full-size. So it would have been either in a Torino or a Montego, and it would have been probably a GT car because it was a 4-barrel. And I can show you the heads. The heads on these, the 4-barrel heads, were huge. And that's probably their biggest problem, is getting them to breathe. These engines would, you know, you could rev them past 7,000, maybe to 8,000 RPM. And they just needed more. They always needed more. People had a hard time making power because you couldn't feed them enough, you know? But they still made crazy power. And this engine came out of my 67 Mercury M100. Someone put that in there. The low mileage, there's not much for ring ridge. There is a little bit, but really not bad. So, my thoughts, we'll tear this apart more. Years ago I tore it apart some. Cam's got to come out. I think that we just give her a dingle ball hone, you know? Make the cylinders nice and fresh looking, put some rings in it. Put a big old bump stick in it. Put those heads back on. Thinking roller lifters, roller cam, do valve springs, different push rods, bring it around, and probably easily make 500 horsepower for probably not that. For less than $2,000, I bet you, it'll be a drop-in engine that'll make, I'd have to say, at least 450 at the wheels. The problem is, back to the transmission. I have a T5. It'll probably explode the first time that you try and do anything. I'm also trying to shift a T5 at, let's say I shift at 6,500 RPM. Let's say we go to 7. It might not love that either. The old 2 to 3 shift she might just explode immediately. But there are transmission options out there, probably a TKO or TKX. Hopefully find a used one. But I think this is the route we're gonna go, because even if I use the block that's in there, that roller block, I would need heads, I need to raise compression. I haven't been in that engine in years and years. It might need more than that. So I think we just go with this. And these had pretty good compression off the assembly line. I think they required premium fuel back then. They were just a bit of a monster. And a lot of it is to do with the heads, and I will show you those too. If you're ever wondering, hey, do I have a 351 or 400, or do I have a 351 Cleveland? Usually chances are you don't have a Cleveland. There's not as many around anymore. Guys love them. They're quite a big deal, right? That being said, I can show you how to be sure. So the date stamps are back here. I guess I could show you this one quick. The back of the block, right there, you will see a C stamped. That means the engine was cast in Cleveland, hence 351 Cleveland. Now I'll rotate this a little bit here. Is that enough? Let's do one more. Okay. Okay, so right there. Now, if you can read that, that is DOAEJ, D being 1970, or D being 70s, 0 being 1970. A is the Galaxy line of cars, E is for engine. I'm not exactly sure what the J really indicates, but it's a really nice, clean engine. Now it has been sitting for a while, but there's nothing that looks crazy anywhere. You can see the bottom of this one piston skirt. It's not scored at all. It is a 2-bolt main. You can tell because there's 2 bolts per main instead of 4. The 4-bolt blocks are extremely rare and sought after. I mean, you can probably understand why. Now, before we tear this apart, oh, they are stamped. So this might have been a part before. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 5, 6, 7, 8. Did they do that right? Yeah, they would have. Because Fords numbered their blocks like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whereas Chev and Dodge went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I think maybe one was on the driver's side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Either way, that's how Ford did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now these heads are what really made the 4-barrel Cleveland special. If you come over here, you can see 4. These are 4-barrel heads. Now, big exhaust ports, you know, fairly big exhaust ports. Monstrous intake ports. Look at those. Look at that. That's crazy. And then look at these valves. Like, holy Dinah, dude. So not only are these the 4-barrel heads, but they're also the closed chamber heads. They are, the open chambers had kind of like a bowl, a dish style combustion chamber, where these are quenched, I believe they called them. So they actually made about, I believe, 10-to-1 or so for compression, which isn't bad. 10-to-1 compression, I believe these are a 2.19 inch intake and a 1.710 exhaust valve. Like, they're just huge. And they're worth a lot because they are the closed chamber. They make a lot of power because of their higher compression. These are sick. Now everything in here looks decent enough that obviously everything needs to be cleaned extremely well. But we go through these. We go through this, which would require a different oil pickup and pump and pan, a Cleveland flywheel, because we're going to be sticking with stick shift. And I know I could probably go faster with an automatic. That's not my point here. Stick shift cars in general are getting so rare. You don't see them anymore. Stick shift drag cars or purpose-built cars with stick shifts, I mean, it's getting to be a rare breed. And I mean, there's still going to be guys that are way quicker than we're going to be in with this, and that is fine. I'm just, we're out there having fun. We are going to, I think, rebuild this engine. And by rebuild, I do mean a quick scraping of the cylinders with a ball hone. I mean, we can check all of these pistons, but I'm sure they're fine. They look good. The skirts I could see look good. Cam bearings, main bearings, crank bearings, connecting rods, do all the bearings. Heads, we'll do a little bit of work there, and I think we can do this pretty cheap. It's here. It's a shame having it sit, and I think it'll be awesome. At Miles of Mayhem last year, there was another Fairmont white one that had a 408 Cleveland, so that is awesome. We're going to copy him a little bit, I guess, because we're going to do it too. I think that's just the play. But that still means I have to find a transmission or take a trailer full of T5s, which is an option. Maybe we can see about hardened shafts or whatever else they're doing with T5s to make them last a little bit longer, but this will probably blow it up immediately, and maybe I can even prove that that's what happens. That being said, the Windsor is still a good choice. Nothing wrong with it. Just needs a little bit more work than this to make power. If we put the same, we board and stroke this Cleveland out, I mean, now you're getting serious. I get it. I think we're just going to go with what we have, see what happens. In the next video, I will finish blasting this apart. We'll yank the cam out. We will look in here. We'll measure the bore. Now, I don't see any oversized piston markings, but we'll double check all of that. We'll get parts ordered up, make sure we're gonna have everything that we need to, because maybe these are oversized pistons, but I don't think so. See what we need in the heads, probably do I don't know, that'll be the next video. We'll blow it apart, we'll clean it right up, maybe even paint it next episode as we await parts, or put it together and then paint it. But next episode, blast it apart, get ready for a 351 Cleveland, kind of a budget build, kind of a let's just see how much damage we can make, eh? That's the plan. Got lifters out. Boy, I don't remember doing a lot of this. This was at our old place. And we'll go from there. So until then, thank you for watching. this is up on the horizon. We'll blast this apart, we'll build it. And then we also, I mean, there's always going to be other stuff. It's winter now, should be able to get back into it. Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Or the next one. Or 3 months from now. Or never again. It's hard to say, isn't it? Yeah, well, hey, I mean, it happens. Man, those are huge heads. Frig, are they ever big. Nice.